Hello, I am Dr. Sujata Chakravarti. I'm a consultant family physician at Fortis Hiranandani Hospital and I look after the health checkup department. Today we have Dr. Somayan De with us. He is a super specialist, a consultant in urology, and since kidney problems are something that ails a lot of us and we come across them very often, we're here to ask him a few questions about common kidney problems. Dr. De, could you please give us a little idea what urology is and how it's different from the medical portion, nephrology?
Our body throws up waste in the form of one is through urine and another is through our stool. Now, the formation, the production, and the excretion of urine is dealt with by our urinary tract. To simplify, our urinary tract throws our body's waste out by means of urine. Now, this means the kidney, then a tube known as the ureter which goes to the bladder, and another tube known as the urethra which goes out. So these are the four important things which filters, the kidney filters the blood, finds the waste out, it pushes the waste into the bladder by the ureter, and then by the urethra it throws the urine out of the body. This is what our urinary tract is. Now, surgical diseases involving the urinary tract are dealt with by urologists, like enlargement of prostate, like stone disease of the urinary tract, like tumors of the kidney, ureter, bladder. They are the common things which the urologists deal with. The nephrologists deal with the medical ailments affecting the kidney. For example, renal failure. For example, chronic kidney disease. In our country, diabetes and blood pressure are the commonest cause of chronic kidney disease. So they deal with the prevention of chronic kidney disease by taking good care of the kidney, diabetes and hypertension, and if the kidney fails, they take care of how the patient survives without a kidney. That is nephrology. So medical part of the urinary tract is dealt with by nephrologist, and the surgical part like stone, tumors, prostate, tumors means cancers of the urinary tract, they are dealt with by urologist.
Okay, that was quite informative. So if there are stones which are very common in the renal system or the kidney system, how do they occur? What are the factors that lead to them and what do we do about them?
See, to simplify, stones are formed in the kidney. From the kidney, they can come to the ureter, they come to the bladder, they come out. This is number one. Number two, kidney's job is to produce wastes from the body. Now, these stones are the normal wastes. But when there are some factors in which this normal waste they can conglomerate together, they form stone. Just like particles of sand form a stone in a river basin. So, when important of them is a concentrated urine. Another important is like when there is a very low citrate in urine. Citrate is something which prevents the conglomeration of the salts in urine. So basically stone form when the urine is concentrated, when there are some chemical nature of the chemicals or particles which are excreted in urine by the kidney, which can conglomerate together and form a big stone. Now, a stone goes in size from 1 mm to 2 mm to 3 mm, it gradually grows up in size. Now, the tube which drains urine from the kidney into the bladder, a kidney here and a tube here into the bladder is around 4 to 5 mm in size. So, after a stone forms in the kidney, if it comes down in the ureter and the passenger is smaller than the size of the passage, then there should not be a problem. So, the ureter is 4 to 5 mm. If the passenger is say 3 mm, it will come down to the bladder and pass out if you are drinking water without any problem at all. But if this passenger is bigger than the size of the passage, for example, you have a 6 mm stone or a 5 mm stone, once it comes down to the ureter, a time comes when it can block the ureter. So when the ureter gets blocked, the urine produced by this kidney is not coming out. This kidney is producing urine, it is coming out. For example, if you think of a right-sided stone in the kidney, if it has come to the ureter and blocked it, the kidney gets distended in urine. And any form of distension of the urine of the kidney causes pain. Just like if you don't pass stool, your abdomen is distended, you have pain. Similarly, if the stone blocks the ureter and the kidney gets distended in the urine, there is pain, and this pain is severe. That is what usually a patient comes to our emergency with a severe stone. But if there is a big stone in the kidney, usually it cannot come down to the small tube. It stays in the kidney, grows bigger and bigger, presents with infection of the kidney, presents with slow damage of the kidney because of the swelling of the kidney. This is slow. So there are two forms of presentation. A small stone can come into the and block the ureter, cause severe pain, or a large stone in the kidney It has gradually become large, but somehow it has not come down. So it gradually damages the kidney and may cause infection. So these are the usual presentation of stone disease of the kidney.
So what kind of treatment would you recommend for someone with a large stone?
See, if the stone is large in the kidney, so if this passenger is much bigger than the size of the passage, now this large is relative. So for example, if I have a air hostage or a pilot or somebody working in the merchant navy with a 5 mm stone, so when he is offshore or he is flying the aircraft, the 5 mm stone can come to the ureter block and the pain is severe, there is nobody to manage it. So for this cases, 4 mm, 5 mm stone, we should take it out. How do we take it out? There is nothing to dissolve stones. The medicines which you give when a stone comes to the ureter hastens the spontaneous expulsion by causing increase in urine output, by dilating the ureter or relaxing the ureter so that there is no pain till the time the stone comes out. So if the passenger is 4 mm, it will come out 99% of the time. So if the stone is like 5 to 7 mm, it will come out approximately 70%. If it is more than 8 mm, it will come out in 20%, means 20 out of 100. So 99 out of 100 for 4 mm to 20 out of 100 for a 8 mm stone. As it grows, lesser the chances of passage. Even if it passes, it can damage the kidney. Because the kidney gets swollen up for a longer period of time. It takes time for a more than 8 mm stone to come down from the kidney down to the bladder and then go out. Once it comes down to the bladder, usually up to 10 mm can pass in any urine without any problem. So when you're thinking of large, it is relative. So for a professional like a merchant navy worker or something somebody who flies frequently, a 5 mm stone, or somebody for example a army man in a border, for him a 5 mm 6 mm is big. We can do endoscopy in which just like urine comes out from the kidney to the bladder and out, we can go from the out through the urethra into the bladder, into the ureter, in the kidney and break the stone with laser. So these are the, or sometimes rarely nowadays we can prick the kidney from behind, go inside the kidney directly, see the stone and break it with laser. So this is for large stones inside the kidney. For the stone which has come down to the ureter, usually you should give very good pain relief. Usually 4 mm, 6 mm, 7 mm stones, operative intervention are not required. They will come down with time if the creatinine is normal. Creatinine is a test of renal function. It is a surrogate test which says the renal function is good. If the creatinine is normal, patient is pain free, there is no harm in waiting for a month or so, regularly checking the creatinine, giving him drugs to relax the ureter, to increase his urine output, asking him to drink more water for the stone to pass. If the stone doesn't pass after a reasonable period of waiting, the same way you can do endoscopy from the urethra to the bladder to the ureter again. We see the stone and we break the stone with laser. This is how we usually treat ureteric stones.
So sometimes it's said that some pain medications are not good for the kidney. What are the safe ones that we can take?
See, paracetamol is the safest medication. For all pains in the body, the World Health Organization has recommended painkillers which are best. The lowest in the first in the ladder comes paracetamol. Opioids are not very easily available in our country, but still they're available. Opioids are the second. So basically paracetamol is a very good medicine for all pain. But problem is that with renal pain, many times paracetamol doesn't act. Paracetamol is very good for muscular pain, for a headache, but it's not so good for renal pain many times. But the initial treatment should be paracetamol, and if you do not respond to paracetamol, I feel the best thing is to give you opioid. So drug like butorphanol at 1 cc IV is very safe. It doesn't cause any respiratory depression. You can give it in the OPD. At least you can give it IM without any problem. It doesn't damage the kidney. Now, if pain doesn't subside with that and the creatinine is normal, we can give NSAID. Drugs like Voveron, Brufen, Combiflam, Meftal-Spas, Drotin-M, they are all NSAIDs, a group of drugs known as non-steroidal anti-inflammatory. They can all harm the kidney, especially a compromised kidney. Now, if you and me take a Combiflam, nothing may happen. But this kidney is compromised now because it has been blocked by this stone. Now, this Combiflam can harm this kidney. And painkiller related damage are the third most common cause of renal failure in our country. So, if somebody is having recurrent stones, he takes Combiflam very frequently, it damages his kidney permanently. So, preferably we should give paracetamol or tramadol. If they doesn't respond to that, we give opioid like butorphanol. Very safe, easily available, very cheap drug, can be given in the casualty, at least intramuscular by any general physician. So this is the best way to relieve the pain. The second thing is, if you can do something, I told the mechanism of pain. The mechanism of pain is the kidney getting distended with the urine which is not able to come out. So if you can relax the ureter, then the urine from the kidney can come out. It's not that stone will come out, but by the side of the stone, water requires very little space to come out. So water from the kidney will come out by the ureter into the bladder, Distension of the kidney will reduce and the pain will reduce. The usual drug for that is alpha blockers, tamsulosin, which you call Urimex or Veltam, whatever is a trade name. Tamsulosin is a very good drug to be given. I think the first time once we treat the patient with pain or suspected stone, after doing sono or a CT, we should give tamsulosin so that the pain do not recur. Because if it recurs, it is severe. This is how we treat pain, and also this will help in the expulsion of the stone spontaneously. So if you put the patient on tamsulosin, ask him to drink a lot of water, you can always follow him up after a sonography after 15 days or 1 month to see whether the stone has come down, whether it has gone. So if it is coming down, there is no harm in eating something more. If he is not having pain, if his renal function is normal, if he is not a diabetic, he is not having infection, signs of infection like fever or pain in the back, there is no harm in waiting for a small stone. But if the stone is big like 10 mm, preferably do it because it may come out but it may damage the kidney also.
Thank you, Dr. Day, for
Thank you,
taking
madam.
out the time for explaining all about kidney stones in such great detail. I'm sure there's lots more to know, and we'll be doing that in future sessions. Thanks.
Thank you.